How are you?
All right, good.
All right, everyone, thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here, Ben, as well. Just to kick it off here, your thoughts on the start of this 20th MLS season, if everyone hasn't heard, or 20th Dynamo season, I should say, and first big match here against FC Dallas this weekend.
Just normal level of excitement and anxiety and all that comes along with starting a new season. Excited about the group that we have, and I think overall it was a good preseason, but we've had some changes, and so I think it's still a process of getting out there and seeing what we're about and tweaking and still teaching and growing early in the season because again, we won't be perfect, they won't be perfect, and the trick is to grab points until you kind of figure out exactly who you are. And with some of those changes, there's going to be some moments that aren't as well oiled as we were, again, leading or ending last year. This is normal. So this is just the start of it all, and excited. Should have a good crowd, and the weather's going to be beautiful.
All right, we'll start. Herman, do you want to start?
Yeah, Ben, a lot of new additions this offseason. Just talk about how the new midfielders, Nico, Jack, are incorporating the team.
Yeah, but Nico and Michael have just got here, so coming into the locker room, it's been a real smooth transition. On the field, we haven't gotten that many looks with them, frankly, but we know Nico's qualities. We know Nico's been in a lot of games, and I would have no trouble playing him tomorrow, again, because he's so well versed in the league and also in some ways our game model. It's not that much different than kind of where he was coming from in Orlando. So, we a little bit of a crash course for him and Michael and on who we are and try to get them up to speed as quick as possible because we're thin. But again, Orlando, their roles in Orlando, it's not a big adjustment for them. So that makes me feel good about, them being involved.
And the first game of the season, are you more focused on implementing what the Houston Dynamo does as opposed to being worried about FC Dallas? Because you mentioned we don't know much about them to start the year, and we're trying to get ourselves 100% squared away. Or how does the preparation go for the first?
Well, we always prep, with the opponent in mind. I mean, it's always very, very important to make sure our players understand who they are and what their strengths and weaknesses are. So we start there, and we're always working on ourselves. I mean, that's what the preseason's about, and again, giving them ideas, making sure we understand adjustments, but also kind of our principles and where we want to live and how we want to go about things. So, and I think we've done a pretty good job of that in the preseason. But, preseason doesn't mean much. The games hit, they're faster, and it is, again, as I said before, it's about grabbing points for me. Again, it's not going to be perfect, and they're not going to be well-oiled either. So can you find the moments that matter? Can you look after each other? Can you bail somebody out? The controllables are the physicality and the energy, the set pieces, dealing with throw-ins, being alert. All those things are controllable. Some of the uncontrollables, again, those sometimes are the difference in this. But we know who they are. We just saw them a few weeks ago. They just saw us a few weeks ago. I don't think either team was that cagey in trying to hide, what we are. Lucho Costa's a big addition to them. Moose is one of the best forwards, I think, in the league. He's dynamic. He runs behind very well, but he's also a big fella and can control the air. And they got, some real dynamic players out wide that have some juice. So very scary in transition when we saw them a few weeks ago. So how we defend while we attack and make sure we're balanced is going to be a big part of the game. making sure some of their key players are as best we can taken care of, and squeezing the spaces that some of players like Lucho operate in. It's hard. He's a handful. I know. I coached him for a little bit.
What's the better communications here? What are your expectations for the players this year?
I'm not the biggest end goal guy, so I think. But if you want one, if you're looking for one, we need to be in the postseason again. And this is again what we've been preaching from day one. Put yourself in a position to win championships. We've done it 2 years in a row. We'd love to do it a third and kind of ante up for the dance. We all want the MLS Cup, of course, but you got to be there to have that opportunity.
Good morning, Coach.
Morning.
With some departing players and some new incoming players, I feel like I ask you this question all the time, but what can you tell me, or can you tell us about this group going into the 2025 season?
I don't know. I don't know this group yet. We're new, Hector's out. Steve's out. Coco's gone. Mikael, assuming that's been announced. Is that, no? Okay.
It has been.
Okay. Yeah.
It's public.
Well, the worst kept secret in the world. These are all real players and real personalities that are exiting. So within, we have to fill those voids. And then externally, we have to fill those voids. So it's twofold. It's guys stepping up and seeing what we have within in the team. And then there's now we have opportunity to go find players and make this team better. So that's going on behind the scenes. But my job is to win games and put this team in the best possible position every weekend to try to get points. That's it. That's where we live. And on the behind the scenes, we're going to continue to try to add, and we're going to continue to work on the team we have and try to get them to be an effective team in this league. And effective I mean effective by winning games and trying to amass as many points as possible to get into the postseason.
Any injury updates?
No, nothing that that's new or you wouldn't know of already.
Some fans have been asking about Escobar during the preseason.
Yeah, he picked up a little knock, but he should be fine.
How is the team camaraderie? How are they getting along? Is there individual groups, or is the camaraderie actually starting to form?
Yeah, we don't have that issue with our groups. It's a tight group. Even the new guys, when they come in from other places, I think they're always pleasantly surprised at how welcoming our group is, and that there's not a lot of big egos in there that need all the attention. It's a good group.
With that addition of Arturo as captain, what went into the decision making with that?
I think there's all different types of captains, right? But Artur's, I think, a very selfless person, and he's not necessarily a rah-rah guy and going to be the most vocal all the time, but he leads by example. I mean, he's selfless. He's a very good bridge to the Spanish-speaking players, the American players. He gets along with everyone, and I think they all have. He has everyone in that locker room's respect, and he has the entire staff's respect. So you put that all together, and I think he's the right choice. But I said to the team that doesn't skirt responsibility of leadership for Eric Sviatchenko, for Franco Escobar, for Nico, even though he's been new here, or Junior Urso, who's been around the block, or some of these young guys like Jack, who's going to play a big role for this team, to also be a personality, because we have lost personality, and now there's this void to who can fill that and help us in those tough moments. So that's, again, when you ask about what can we expect from this team, I'm not sure. That's what we're all going to find out, and that's what's exciting about each season, because it takes you down a new pathway, and there's going to be new hurdles to jump over, and you're going to have to twist and turn, and injuries, and the team we have right now is going to be very different than the team we have, both personality, the profiles, the players, than we have when we end this year. And that process from beginning to end is a lot of fun, but there's a lot of ups and downs and a lot of things, and that's why I hesitate to say this is where we're going to go, because from here to here, it's a wild journey.
Any sneak peeks on anybody that you're adding?
No.
You added Josh Wolf as an assistant. Just wondering.
It's one of my biggest signings of the year. Josh is I've known Josh since I was 17 years old. We've same age. We've played on every national team together. 18s, 20s, went to the Olympics together, went to the World Cup together. So that comes with a level of trust. And I think honesty that is sometimes rare in this business. So we start there. Second to that, I think he's one of the smartest soccer brains in this country. So for us to get his services right now, in the short term, he's already made us better. And I think he's got a lot of qualities. He understands the game, and he's going to also push me and my staff to be better. And I believe in that. I believe if you can get somebody in here that can help you grow, even though I've been doing this for a while, but if you can still push and have new ideas, it's worthwhile. And, hopefully he was a forward himself, so his relationship already with Ponce and our attack, hopefully he can help us enhance scoring some goals.
I got one more, Coach. Ethan Bartlow, you've been developing over the past few seasons and stepped in well when needed. Your expectations and your confidence that you have in Ethan going forward and the opportunity that may present.
Yeah, when Ethan's been called upon, he's done a good job for this club. With the current situation, he's going to have to do even a better job and step up in a way that maybe he's not used to in the past here. But that's opportunity, right? This is what it is. And we talk about guys that aren't playing all the time, and you don't know in this league. You don't know in this business when it's your turn, right? And it happens very, very quickly. And then, some people seize it, and they never leave the field again. I've seen it before. Look at Mika. Teenage goes down. Mika DeSantos comes in, can't take him off the field, and now he's, apparently not here anymore. But that's just rumor.
Go ahead, Joe.
What about there's maybe a growing soccer community here with the women that came in the World Cup? A lot of people might not be familiar with the game. What can they expect from the Dynamo? I know it's going to be a work in progress, but can you speak to just kind of generally what people
Sure.
get when they get here? And
Well, I think I can go off of the last 2 years and what I think we've put together since I've been here, since we've been here collectively. I think it's been entertaining. I think it's been we've put together an enjoyable experience, within the fans, the stadium. It's refurbished stadium. It's a great atmosphere. There's not a bad seat in the house. And I would just ask people to give us a chance. Just come, check it out. And more times than not, people come here to a soccer game that haven't been. And I think more times than not, they understand it's one of the best shows in town. Again, because of the intimacy, because of the pageantry of the fans, the energy. And again, the stadium, I think, is a wonderful one from a viewing standpoint. You go to I love football, I love basketball, but sometimes, you're a little far. Yeah, it's right there, man. It's right there. There's no hiding in this stadium, and I think that's one of the best parts about it.
It's season 20 for the team, but overall it's season 30 for MLS. Your thoughts on what you get from this?
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of questions about the 20th and here. And I hesitate to kind of appreciate you not asking me to go too much in that. It's only been 2 years for there, you know. Although I do, because I've been a part of the 30 for the most part, I do have a lot of respect for the club, and it's those teams that used to kick my ass, frankly, when I was at DC United in those early days with Bobby and Brian Ching, Pat, and Dominic Kinnear, who I've got a lot of respect for. So it's been an interesting time for me to kind of reflect on that. I know there's been a lot of social media and things and odes to the past, and it's been a fun thing to go back in. Going back into the league for 30 years, I always just, when these milestones hit, I always just feel really lucky. I feel fortunate that I've been a very, 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 very small part of where this league has come over the last 30 years. And I feel privileged, and whether it was the 10 years as a player or whatever I'm at as a coach, seeing these steps of these moments, whether it was David coming in, and then the DPs, and then the new rules, and all the expansion, and the stadiums, and the infrastructure, and now the selling, and the money coming in now, and seeing this thing move in a positive direction, having a front row seat to that has been a lot of fun. And again, feel really fortunate to be a part of it.
We're going to jump to Zoom for a few. Dustin, go ahead.
Hi. Yeah.
I just want to ask you a little bit about tomorrow's game. I know you said you played Dallas, you saw them a little bit, but a new coach, Eric Quill, does that change a lot of what Dallas does? And for you guys, you talked about your home form last year not being what you expected it to be. How you change that to start the season off on the right foot?
Yeah, I think we've talked about it. We've talked about a renewed commitment to winning home games. But we talked about that last year, right? Some years it just kind of goes that way, and I thought last year at times we were, if there was anything that was an issue, it was again, we couldn't put games away when we were up, or we had a lot of opportunities that we just didn't take to win the game, and that was kind of a theme throughout the years. Sometimes away, it didn't take as many goals. It usually would only take one to get those with the solid defense that we had last year. So again, I think some of that will come with hopefully an improved attack and scoring more goals and putting games to bed here at home when we have those opportunities, or seeing them out late. And we are up a few times last year. We cost ourselves some points with some late goals. So fixing those two would help. We look forward to getting on the road, in a few weeks and testing out our road form and some of that resiliency that hopefully our group has. Now, your first question was a long time ago. I don't remember it. FC Dallas, new coach, Eric Quill. Eric and I go way back to playing on under 20 national teams. So he's a highly competitive guy. I know he's got them fired up, and just looking at it in the short term and seeing them already, there's a lot of buy-in there, a lot of freshness. Whenever you have a new coach, everybody's buying in, and I think we'll get a better version of them, or the best version of them. I expect it to be physical. Again, their transition is very scary. It's probably the best part of their game, and now that Lucho comes into that play, it makes them even better in that. And it's designed. That's a guy they've been wanting to go after. They got him. They got a nice 1-2 punch there with him and Musa. And then again, real dynamic players flying down the wing. So, we understand that. We understand how to address it, but it does not make it easy.
We have time for a few more. We'll go Diego, Alex, and then Joey. One question each, and then we'll wrap it up. Diego, go ahead.
Hey, man. So looking at the first game of the season being a rivalry game like Dallas, does your experience as a player in DC United, having played rivalry games then and seeing the league evolve, can you talk a little bit about what your perspective as a player has when it comes to dealing with these rivalry games?
this, if we played Dallas in a month from now, I think it would almost have I think that question may be more relevant in some ways. This is the first game. So, it is a rivalry game. Of course, it's Dallas, but the first game is the first game. So there's already an excitement and attention about this game that you want to get off on the right foot in the season. So in some ways, I don't care who we were playing tomorrow. This is going to be a fast and furious game that we'll be looking to. We're highly motivated and looking to win.
All right, Alex, go ahead. Alex?
Coach, can you hear me, Coach? Forgive me.
You're forgiven.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Coach, and thank you for your time. We really appreciate it. My colleagues have done a great job of asking all kinds of questions. I think you minimized your role in the growth of the sport in this country, number one, and certainly with the MLS. That said, you talked about the growth. You talked about being part of the landscape changing in 30 years, now 20 with the Dynamo. The question, though, is, and you may be aware of this, there's talk of a second first division in our country. Is there room for it? I know you're focused on the match tomorrow and what comes with it, a new team, but would you talk about that, Coach? Is there enough to have 60 first division teams in the United States?
You didn't prep me for that one, did you, big guy?
That came out of left field.
That wasn't on our docket. That wasn't on our pre. I don't know. I don't listen. I don't know. It's a good question. I haven't, to be honest with you, I haven't put a lot of thought to it. And in some ways, I think that says everything of how I feel about it. As far as what that is, like that's not in. That's a discussion for probably others. It's been a busy time, and I just haven't put a lot of thought to it. I'm sure there's a lot of layers to that and that announcement and what that looks like, but I don't have a lot on it. I think the MLS is doing just fine and growing at a nice pace, and I think it's a great league, both for Americans to strive to be a part of, and also it's becoming a league of choice for players all over the world that continue to be younger and higher quality.
All right, we'll
of course.
wrap it up with Joey. Joey, go ahead.
Hey, Ben, what goes into scouting a team like Dallas with a new coach? You guys watch a lot of film of North Texas and New Mexico teams, and how do you see his system translating to a higher level?
Well, I think sometimes when you just look at the profiles of the players that they have, well, first of all, we just saw them for three weeks ago, so we have a nice scouting report. But I said they have the same scouting report against us. It's not ideal to play a team like that 3 weeks before your opener, but we set it up before the schedule came out. So again, if we know what Lucho does, we know where Lucho's going to be. He's done it for a long time. I was lucky enough to coach him and also watch him become one of the best players this league has ever seen. And so we know kind of his qualities. Again, doesn't make it easy. Everybody knows his qualities. He continues to still be one of the best players in the league. So you do what you can to prepare for him in that way. We know they've got an elite striker, a great finisher, again, pretty well-rounded, big, strong, can hold up the ball, good feet, but also runs well. Runs better into the box than people give him credit for because of his size. And then, again, Julio and the wingers they got real pace. And so that lends it to be a team that, again, plays a certain way. They also have got, they're tidy. They have the ability to build. They broke us down quite a few times when we played them in Dallas. So we got to make sure we're smart in how we press and how we go about that and not get stretched. So, and we got a game plan just like we would against anybody else, and we'll see if it works.